2023 is almost behind us, and we have 2024 to look forward to in the DC housing market. In this video, we're going to be covering what happened in 23, what the smart money says is going to happen in 24, as well as our own predictions for the market moving forward. Hey guys, James Reid with TTR Sotheby's International Realty here, covering DC, Northern Virginia, and the Maryland suburbs. Today we're talking about our predictions for the 2024 housing market. Let's get started. All right, getting to 2023, it can be best described with two words: interest rates. Interest rates started off actually quite brisk with market activity. They were in the sixes to begin the year. In the first quarter of the year, we actually had a decent amount of deal flow. People were buying and selling on a fairly consistent basis. It was a good market, so to speak. And that changed throughout the year as rates came up strongly in the sevens in the summer, including in the eights in the fall, and then they've recently, thankfully, come down. Now, what happened when rates hit the sevens in the summer? It really choked a lot of the life out of the market. Listings were down, median time on market was up, as well as closed deals were down significantly. We actually have a 5-year low for median time on the market, actually 5-year high for median time in the market, 5-year low for listings, and 5-year low for closings, while the actual median list price is at a 5-year high. Why is it at a 5-year high? Well, we have strong demand for housing in the greater DC market. Whether you're looking at DC, Northern Virginia, or the Maryland suburbs, all those areas are quite strong. We're a very affluent area, very highly educated area. A lot of people work for the federal government, so their incomes don't fluctuate, right? They're guaranteed their check no matter what's going on in the world. There is just a really strong high demand for housing in this area, and that is reflected in the price that we still have here, which is at a 5-year high for the median list price. And to be honest with you, some sellers are just quite frankly greedy. They've seen their neighbors the past few years, get record-breaking numbers in their neighborhoods, and they're sitting on low interest rate mortgages. Most of the mortgages still are under 4 or 5% for what people have, and they're saying to themselves, you know what? I want that deal. That's the number I want to get. I want that aspirational pricing. And that's been reflective of a lot of houses that are not in good or great condition that are sitting in our market. And then people will eventually say, you know what? I'll just rent it for a year. I don't care. We'll put it here, or I'll let it sit vacant. I don't really need the property that badly. And so we do have some of that going on in our local market. It's different than other areas of the country, right? Certainly the Southeast, that is not the case there. They're still getting top dollar for their values. And then other areas of the country where it's higher than here, like Seattle or New York, those are certainly experiencing their own market circulations. So, or market cyclical for what's going on with them. Now, in our area, we are seeing rates come down, but we are not seeing listings come back up yet. It's the end of the year. Looking into 2024, what can we expect? Okay, in 2024, what can we expect, right? You've got Zillow, you've got Housing Wire, you've got NAR. All of them have their own predictions, and it's anywhere between 1 and 5%. All kind of chickens in my mind, right? They're just doing a very safe prediction. I get they're all professionals, but, let's be real here. They don't exactly know what's going on in the market, so they're going to give you a very safe number, something that they're not going to get embarrassed by next year, in my personal opinion. They're looking at inflation numbers, which have, they look like they've been coming down, but we'll see. But in 2024, what can we expect? In the DC housing market, I expect cash deals to still be significant, right? We track our own investor index in here in Montgomery County, DC, Northern Virginia, the areas that we cover. Roughly 1 every 4, 1 every 5 deals is a cash deal. But that hasn't increased in the past 3 years. It's actually stayed steady, the same number of transactions, where the rest of the transaction volume in those markets has come down significantly. We're about 20% down for 2023 than we were for 2022. That's the trend tracking from when you see this video. We can put up a follow-up video and give you the exact numbers. But it's trending about 20% of the volume down, while the investors, cash buyers, are all pretty consistent this year. I expect that number to stay the same for cash buyers until interest rates come down, which they supposedly will come down, right? The smart money has it anywhere between 6 to 6.7%. Where are we at today when we're making this video? Right, you're starting to see 8s and 7s. I'm actually seeing some of my clients get quoted 6.875, so 6 and 7/8 if you like fractions. That is, an improvement for sure, but I wouldn't see a significant uptick in listings until the spring market, which usually starts around March or after Valentine's Day. It's not the beginning of the year, as some people may think. The spring market is usually picks up. Our listings typically pick up February, March, peak around June, July, and then they kind of come down till about Halloween, maybe Thanksgiving, and then they kind of fall off a cliff like they have this year as we get towards the holidays. Because in my opinion, in the DC area, the people who have to list their house between the holidays, certainly at the end of the year, they're doing that because they need to, not because they want to. It's the lowest time. We have the lowest amount of buyers in the market here. So you're going to have the lowest number of eyeballs in your property, the lowest number of people who are interested in buying properties at this time of year. So that's typically the deal flow we see for listings. So I think that the number of listings is completely dependent upon the time of year, which we know, as well as the interest rates. Now, if interest rates come down, I can certainly see listings come back up, because if you're sitting on a low interest rate mortgage in our area, you are not selling in this area and then buying again here, right? You're going to a lower cost market. You're getting rid of your low interest rate mortgage for a higher mortgage somewhere else, but you're buying a lower cost property. So your overall cost is less. If you even have a mortgage, maybe you have so much excess capital here, you can buy a property for cash in the Southeast, in Florida, like many people who relocate out of this area do. All right, now getting to what you came here for, our 2024 predictions. First up, housing inventory. I expect the first half of the year in the DC area to be slower than 2023 in the first half. I expect our deal flow to be down because we have less listings on the market currently, right? So we have less houses to buy unless you're sourcing them off market. And I expect interest rates, when they eventually come down, that will help the inventory increase here. Getting in interest rates, where do I think they're going to be? Smart Money says between 6 and 6.7%. They're not that far off. When I had this morning, as of recording this video, clients get quoted 6.875. I think by the end of 2024, rates are going to be between 6 and 6.25 for the DC area, your average buyer, right? Without special programs, without rate buy downs, which you are starting to see a little bit more of with sellers who are desperate to sell, offering people 2-1 buy downs, financing that. I expect rates to be 6 to 6.25. I personally don't think they're going to be in the 5s. That's just my personal guess. I think that it's going to be too fast. I think the Fed is always slow when they should be quick, and that's kind of how we got in this market to begin with. So I expect them to be 6 to 6.25 in my opinion, which is in line with some of the other prognosticators out there, but no gloom and doom. I do not expect a market collapse whatsoever for the DC market. Other areas of the country, I'm not totally sure of, but in the greater DC area, we have an extremely affluent area, highly educated area, the federal government. We are very well insulated here, and there's such high demand for housing that I do not see a market collapse in this market. Now, if you have a crappy property, it's going to sit. In my opinion, it's not going to fly off the shelves like it was in 2021. So you have to have that squared away if you're going to be a seller, even when rates come down. Cash transactions, I expect cash transactions in our area, our investor index, to stay the same. When deal flow comes up, you're going to see the percentage come down only because there's more listings in the market. House values, right? Pricing. I expect it to go up 5%. Basically 5% for every point that we come down. So that's my personal prediction. I know they're between 1 and 5%. If for some reason they go in the 5s, you can see anywhere between 5 and 10% increase in housing, in my personal opinion. This is across condos, townhouses, and single-family homes. I've seen pricing flatten out across all three segments of that market, or of our market, between condos, townhouses, and single-family homes. They're not increasing because rates are so high, but they're not really dropping. People are getting realistic about the property condition, the values of them. The best buyers are the ones who are buying right now, so they're the ones who have the most amount of leverage. Sellers are having to do some concessions that they haven't had to do in the past, but the best properties, even in this market of 8% interest rates in the DC area, are still going at and above list price, some without any concessions whatsoever, some without any financing contingencies. So that is still the case here because we have such high demand. So if interest rates go low 6s or even under 5 or under 6 in the 5s, I expect the home values in here to be 5% or more, in my opinion. This is more aggressive than what you'd find with the experts out there, but that's what I see on a day-to-day basis with the values. I see greedy home sellers, and I see people who are sitting on the sidelines waiting for rates to go down, and then maybe it's a wash for them in the end if they're paying more for a property than they did before, but they have a lower rate. We'll see. Now, when is the right time to buy for you? Is it when rates come down? Is it when you've got more money saved? Is it when there's more inventory in the market? The answer is when you can afford it, in my opinion. Right? When you can afford it, that's the best time for you. Doesn't matter for the market. If you can afford it, that's the best time. If you can't afford it, figure it out, rent, do what you need to do until you're ready to buy. Now, if you guys have any questions about 2024 market, you got your own opinions, feel free to put those in the comment section below. If you have any questions about your specific scenario, moving in or out of the DC area, feel free to contact me directly. My information is below as well. And until next time, I hope to see you around town.